situated and whatever your time zone is, welcome to our program Crossfire, together with Sir Butch Valdes and Paglinawan. For this program, we have given a title which will encompass just about everything in our lives, everything as far as our society is concerned, everything as far as our government is concerned, everything as far as our family, relations, etc., just about everything. And that is trust, hope, believe. What do we trust? Who do we trust? What are we supposed to believe in? Who do we believe in? And what are we hoping for? So, with that, we'd like to come out with some kind of an understanding of the situation our country is in, the relationship people have with our leaders, many things that are coming up that we read or hear about on television, in the news, although sometimes they prioritize other things other than what is of great concern to us. Over the past several episodes that we have had, we've emphasized basic needs, basic commodities, basic services. We've also emphasized where the the programs of government are going, insofar as having food on the table, insofar as being able to pay for our electric bills, for our water bills, in order to have good transportation, and of course, many other things besides. And then recently, we've had this concern, which has generated a lot of interest, which is the Maharlika Fund. And perhaps somehow we'll try to explain where that is going and of what effect it has to our lives, including other priorities, plus the fact that our president will be traveling on December 12 to 14, somewhere in Europe, in Brussels, we understand. Again, another meeting with the European community and European officials, and some of the officials also of the ASEAN, projecting likewise where we stand and what other benefits we will be able to get from all of these travels and meetings that our president has. So, welcome to Crossfire. This is Rita Gadi, together with Sir Butch Valdes, and together with Paglinawan. Sir Butch.
Well, the future is not so, it's bleak. But by just the title of our program, Trust, Believe, and Hope. We're always speculating about the future. And, we don't have to belabor the point that things have been on the downturn for quite some time. And we're not seeing anything of government that will give us hope. No? You mentioned this fund, this sovereign fund that they came up with. I'm not sure. That's why I don't believe in them, because this government seems to have the propensity to be either stupid or just have the audacity to think they can get away with anything. I don't know. It's all this in a mental framework, I suppose, and the attitude that the leaders have been getting. I do not refer to Bongbong Marcos, by the way. I only refer to the people around him that seem to be in control of his mind. Nothing so far seems to have been initiated by himself. It has all been upon the suggestions of sinister members of his cabinet or his immediate family. That's what I see, and that's why I don't have much hope. I do not trust them, and neither do I believe them.
Okay, we'll try to go around that, although I'm sure that you will find something that we have to hold on to, Because otherwise, that's the kind of relationship we should have with each other and with government. Something to believe in, something to hope for, and something that we could aspire for. So, and trust.
Well, I would like to start with a recent statement of the Vice President, Sara Duterte, when he told one basketball player, whose name I will not glorify, that he should not put too much importance on the incident, in other words, on what happened, but on the lessons of that particular incident. I trust in the lessons of our history. Everything that we have had as a failure of success is recorded in our history. It's very, but it could be very ancient as the year 700, when they found evidence of rhinoceros
Oh,
somewhere
yes,
the bones
Kalinga.
in
Kalinga Apayo, yes.
Kalinga Apaya. So it depends also on how you handle history. But I trust history because you cannot change it anymore. And the lessons are replete in the wisdom of our forebears, the patriotism of Claro Emerecto, the doggedness of even President Quezon, in the people orientation of Ramon Magsaysay, and so on and so forth. But from where we are right now, do we have hope? I think we have hope because Bongbong Marcos will be going to Europe. And he will be talking with people who are sick and tired of the United States, who seems to be the idol of his officer in charge in the Department of Defense, this guy Faustino. That Faustino is an oblique for Faustus, by the way. If you know who Faustus is, you're
Oh
in
my
trouble.
goodness.
If you don't know who Faustus is,
Dr.
you are in more
Faustus.
trouble.
Dr. Faustus.
So, why? Because Germany has already made the conclusion na nabudol-budol siya ng Estados Unidos. France, likewise, is doubting whether the United States is an ally. No? And Italy is very vocal against the present policies,
Exactly.
especially when it comes to the sanctions that has heavily
Precisely.
affected the European countries, and also towards Eastern Europe, Poland and Hungary. They're all sick and tired of the war in Ukraine, because the war in Ukraine is being used by the United States to save itself from an economic collapse at the expense of the Europeans. These are the people that Bongbong will meet there, and I hope they really talk sense into his head. Now, what do I believe? Well, I don't think I'm in a position to make a decision yet on what to believe at this point. I will have to wait for the president to come home and let's see what he got from you.
You sound as though, officials of the Department of Health also should only warn us that we should be science-based. We should see the evidences before we come to the conclusion that there are certain diseases that are really very harmful. Anyway, as you were saying earlier, history is so important. You mentioned the rhinoceros excavation that has already petrified and has turned into what could be stone already, and dated to 700 years ago. So many things in our past have already been there, that we cannot question anymore. But then again, it is also important to find out what can be retrieved from that past so that we can use the lessons learned, as you mentioned, the quotation from Vice President Sara Duterte, that it is not the incident, but the lesson learned. Wherever that goes, at this particular stage, we had 31 million voters who believed in our president. They had the hope that they would have a better life, a more dignified, a more honorable, if not, all the expectations of being in the upper middle class, although our president has mentioned this quite often, that that is the target, as a matter of fact. But then again, there is also that particular virtue. It is a virtue, which is the hope, because we mentioned faith, hope, and charity. We know what faith is. That is what we believe in. We know what charity is. That is the compassion that we give to other people. But then the hope is something, it's a virtue that's very difficult sometimes to really grasp. But at this particular stage, as Sir Butch has said, we have economic policies or financial policies or whatever policies there are that should be improving our lives. And one of this, which came out quite urgently, we've not had this before, and that is that Maharlika Fund.
Correct.
We don't have a copy of that law because, as they say in the news, it's still being debated upon. There are certain provisions that they're trying to amend or change or update or whatever else they could call it. But the latest was the president is no longer going to chair the board of this Maharlika Fund. And then let's find out, Sir
Right.
Butch, is that
Well-
something that is beneficial?
Yeah, well, my previous comments about not believing, not trusting, and not hoping were specific only to this administration. I still believe in our people, and soon enough, we will be finding a way out of this. But going back to the sovereign
Fund.
fund that they have created, no? The fact that they are ambiguous. Every time I hear Joey Salceda try to explain it, he obfuscates, he confuses, he misleads, no? And he does not know how and where to lie. Because it is not explainable. The questions are very sound, very simple, coming from interviewers on television. Even if they are friendly to him, the observers, many observers like myself and many others, can already see by just the manner in which this thing is being answered, these questions are being answered, already show deception, ambiguity, double talk. And to say that this will be a source of investment for infrastructure will be the biggest lie they are trying to promote. Now I understand that they cannot use they have agreed not to use the SSS and GSIS
Pension fund.
pension funds because they are people's money. That's not government money. So now they are going to turn to government money, which is the central bank
The Pagco.
reserves, no?
Bank pa yan.
And Bancor. Well, it all depends how they're going to source these funds. But if they were only looking at infrastructure, the initial fund that they are looking at is 250 billion pesos. It will take only 50 billion pesos to start the Bataan nuclear power plant. A lot of our problems will already be solved by that. Just that 50 billion. A lot of it will already be solved. Not all, but we will be moving in that direction. Instead, they want to play around with people's funds. Central bank is people's money. That is not Ben Jokno's money or Medallas money. That is not the money of the financial oligarchs that are in control of our finances. That's our money that they have stolen from us through various means by imposing devaluation schemes on us, no? By imposing penalties on debts that should have that should not have been debts at all. No? These are the bankers that have done this to us, and this Ben Jokno and the rest of them are the ones that allowed this, knowing fully well that this was being done to the Filipino people.
Anyway, pag makakuha na kami ng kopya para mabasa ng husto kung ano yung mga nakasulat doon. But initially, when I was going over the bill as it was being discussed in Congress, and this is a direct quotation, it says here that the 250 billion fund is supposed to raise revenues by, and this is a quote, maximizing the profitability of investable state assets. Now, tinanggal na nga yung pension funds ng SSS at GSIS, pero ay yung mga initial investments na yan manggagaling daw sa PAGCOR, sa Bangko Sentral, sa Land Bank, sa DBP. Hihimayin natin yan pagka may kopya na talaga tayo. Ngunit kailangan pag-usapan sapagkat merong urgency na nakikita natin sa araw-araw na kanilang pinagdidebatehan. Ngunit yung nabanggit nga ni Sir Butch, maraming priorities na kailangan asikasuhin. Kaya nga yung ating sinasabing hope, believe, and trust ay hindi pa niya talagang matugma sapagkat kinakailangan meron tayong mahawakan talaga. There is something we have to hold on to that we are actually hoping for. There is something we have to believe in, and there is something or some persons we have to trust. Ano?
Well, this is another bad joke from Ben Jokno. Joke mo yan, hindi ko joke yan eh. Kasi nung kinakausap siya, nung in-interview siya, sabi niya, okay, wala na GSIS and SSS. In other words, wala na direct contribution. Pero in case the board of GSIS and SSS so decides at some future time that they want to invest in the sovereign fund, social welfare fund yata yan eh, of the oligarchs eh. Hindi kami tatanggi. Something like that. Land Bank. 25% ng investable funds ng Land Bank or loanable funds are supposed to go to the agri-agra. Nagagawa ba yan ng gobyerno? Hindi. In fact, gumawa na naman sila ng oligarchic move dahil ang mga oligarko may-ari ng bangko na pwedeng hindi na ibigay yan sa agri-fund, magbabayad na lang sila ng penalty. So, ang ginagawa ng mga bangkong malalaki ngayon ng pag-aari ng mga oligarko, nagbabayad na lang sila ng penalty kaysa mawala sa kanila hawak yung 25% na yun. Sinabi ni Butch na 50 billion lamang ang kailangan para patakbohin ang Bata nuclear plant. And it will already contribute to about more than 16% of our present energy needs. That will reduce our dependence on oil. Alam niyo po ba yung dependence natin sa oil? Sa imported fuel? Na-reduce na ho yan sa 50% just by geothermal and hydroelectric. The Jeronimo Velasco before 1985 when the Bata nuclear plant was supposed to be ignited or fired. No? At 16 yan. Ngayon, sa Salixico, hindi pa pala natapos doon dahil hindi nga lang pala yung Bataan Nuclear Plant ang minotbol ni Cory Aquino at ng mga Amerikano, kundi pati yung dalawang coal-fired plant na 300 megawatts each. Yung isa ay sa Calaca, Batangas, at yung isa ay sa Masinloc, Zambales. Ayan, mga kabansa. So, that is another 600 megawatts pala na hindi pinatakbo. So, another 16% reduction, which would have brought the dependence of our economy to imported fuel as low as 28%. Can you imagine? Pero ano ang ginawa nila? Hindi nga nila ito pinatakbo. Ang problema dito, pera natin itong gagastusin nila Pera natin, pero wala tayong representasyon. Sino magre-represent sa atin dyan? Si Ben Jokmo? Hindi ho elected yan. Si Medalya, bronze medalist lang po yan. Si Medalya. At sino ba? Si Balisakan. Balisakan ba? Nabalisaw-saw na yan. Naging NEDA chief na yan. Nawala ko ulit, binalik ulit. Alright. Now, ako nagpapatawa dahil mainit ang ulo ko. Dahil, ang sabi ni Teresita Baltasar ng Tanggol ng Demokrasya, ay mahirap magbigay ng trust. Because, miski umalis na itong 6 years ni Marcos, another 6 years, we have a very bad reputation sa continuity. In fact, Bongbong is not fulfilling his election promise, mga kabansa, to continue, number 1, ang legacy ng tatay niya. Pangalawa, ang mga programang sinimulan ni Presidente Duterte. Nagsasariling biyahe ho itong ating oligarchic president. Oligarko ho yan Kaya ang barkada niya, puro oligarko rin. At magandang balita, yung iba kabarkada niyang oligarko, nagagalit na rin. Dahil masyadong atensyon binibigay niya doon sa kabilang panig, yung panig ng mga abuitis. So, sila, very soon, magpapatayan mo yung mga yan. Bigyan natin ng konting panahon, magkakainan sila. They will eat each other. At alam nyo naman, sabi nga nung iba, may dalawang ahas sa Malacanang, parehong babae. Yung isa nasa loob, yung isa nasa Kongreso. So, ano ang ating paghuhugutan dito? Wala ho tayong paghuhugutan dito. Because this is a speculative fund. What is speculation? Walang kasiguraduhan.
High risk.
High risk.
There you go.
Exactly. But then again,
Yung speculate, just to give it more emphasis, sugal po yan Kinukuha nila yung pondo ng bansa, isusugal nila sa merkado, sa Wall Street, kung saan-saan. No? At kailan lang, palaging natatalo kuno. Nung 2009, yung GSIS manager natin, 2008, nag-collapse na yung Wall Street. January 2009, nagpasok pa siya ng $3 billion ng people's money. Yan ang ginamit niya, Lehman Brothers at Merrill Lynch. Tapos 2 months after, nag-declare ng bankruptcy yung Lehman Brothers and Merrill Lynch. Yung GIS money, natiwangwang, walang nangyari. Kuno, nakakasuspecha po. No? Etong mga to, nakikita ko na alam nila na ang sistemang pinansyal sa Wall Street ay gumegewang-gewang. It's very uncertain. Anytime it's going to blow, sabi ng mga ibang ekonomista doon. So, ang plano nila, kukuha silang pondo na naman dito. Kunwari, itinataya yan sa Wall Street at babagsak ang Wall Street. Pero hindi lahat itataya. Sasabihin nila tinaya.
May portion na itatabi.
Halos lahat itatabi.
Ngayon, ang problema, ito ngayon, Butch, Ma'am Rita. Nagtiwala ang Norway dyan sa hayupak na Wall Street na yan. Nag-invest ng katakot-takot. Ha? Itong first half lang ng ano, ng 2022. Tapos ang sinasabi nila ngayon, dahil daw sa gera sa Ukraine at doon sa mga nagkagulo-gulong mga sanctions, nalugi ho ng 174 billion dollars. Ha? Ang Norway Sovereign Fund. Ito ho ang pinakamalaking sovereign fund sa buong mundo. Pangalawa, pinupuri ni Senator Jokmo. Jokmo yan, hindi ako natatawa. Ang Temasek, anak ng Lintek, ang Temasek ng Singapore, bumagsak din dahil sa Bitcoin. Nabudol-budol ng Bitcoin, yung FTX. Recently rin ho yan. Napakasama naman yata ng mga pangitahin natin. No? At ang pinupuri ni Jokmo yan, hindi ako natatawa, ay ang sovereign fund ng Indonesia. And this time I will agree. Because the Indonesians are managing it so conservatively that they have become the number 10 top manufacturing country in the world ng 2021. Naiwanan na ho tayo milya-milya ng Indonesia. Yun hong life boy na pinagkatiwala ko aking mga balat. Nung ako ay bata pa, ay ngayon ini-import na natin sa Indonesia. Dahil ang Unilever po ay lumipat na doon. Ha? Ang Procter & Gamble yun. Bye-bye.
Para hindi na mislead ang mga nakikinig, no? The development of Indonesia to reach the number 10 is not because of that sovereign fund. The sovereign fund was only recently that they did because they couldn't afford it because their economy was growing.
At saka kailangan nila ng counterpart sa mga bullet train at mga tulay dito, tulay doon, connecting their islands.
That's right. Yan ang gagawin nilang counterfund. Kanya kung sinasabi sa inyo ni Jokno na sinungaling na yung ginawa na number 10 ng Indonesia lumaki nila, it's not because of that. It's because they had more intelligent and morally courageous economists, no? Unlike this guy, Jokno.
Pero kayong dalawa, pinag-uusapan natin to at binabanggit ninyo yung pangalan nitong taong ito. Ngunit, tandaan natin, 31 million of our voters hope, trusted, and believed in our present president. Kaya tayong tatlo na nagsasalita dito ngayon na nagbibigay ng warning na may mga gumagalaw sa ating pamahalaan na hindi makakabuti sa taong bayan, sa ating bansa, at hindi rin makakabuti sa ating Pangulo. Tandaan ninyo, those who voted for him, we voted for him, we trusted him, we believed in him, we hoped in all of the things that he will be doing for our country. Yan po ang ating pinatalakay ngayon. Mahalaga po yan sa mga nakapaligid na nagbibigay ng kanilang mga opinyon, sa mga gumagawa nitong mga batas na ito na tinatawag ng Sovereign Trust Fund. Lahat ng kanilang kinikwentuhan ni Sir Butch na nagbibigay supposedly liwanag para sa ating patunguhan, ngunit hindi naman doon talaga ang direksyon na pupuntahan natin. Kaya mahalaga po na makinig kayong mabuti. Hindi po ito kagagawan ng ating Pangulo. Ito ay mga circumstances surrounding the seat of power. Ganyan po talaga sa bawat administrasyon. May mga Rasputin, meron talaga mga bulong-bulong. May mga ang intensyon ay pangsarili at may mga hawak din. I think Sir Butch has explained this quite in detail. That some of our supposedly experts in the discipline of economics or finances are actually tied to a global mafia that handles the finances of the world. Yang International Monetary Fund, yang World Bank, kung saan ba nang galing at itinayo yan, na lahat ng mga bansang kagaya natin dito sa Pilipinas ay hindi lang nila hinihila sa tali, ngunit nakatali pa ang leeg. Yan po ang nangyayari. Kaya sa panahon na ito, malaki po ang tiwala, ang paniniwala, at ang ating pag-asa na maiintindihan ng taong bayan na ang mga gumagalaw na ito ay hindi makakabuti sa atin. At ang ating Pangulo na rin, the mere fact that he has already spoken of this several times, but has already has taken a step backward, saying that he will no longer be chairing this board. Ngunit abangan natin, sapagkat meron siya sigurong nararamdaman at nakikita at nalalaman. As I've always emphasized, the seat of power is a lonely seat. Nag-iisa lang talaga yan. Marami tayong mga panukala, marami tayong mga criticisms. Ngunit kung saan siya nakaupo, sinasabi nga, the pinnacle of power, siya lang ang nakakakita niyan, ng lahat na yan. Siya lang ang makakaramdam ng lahat ng mga gumagapang dyan sa paligid niya. Paniwalaan natin yan, sapagkat dyan manggagaling ang ating pag-asa.
Ang ayoko lang at nagdurugo ang aking pusong mamon ay marami nang nagsasabi ngayon na nakiisa sila, naki-unify sila sa unity team dahil hindi lang nila masikmura yung pangalawang kandidato na si Leni Robredo. Ngayon, nagkakaroon ng mga usap-usapang ganyan. Pero saan ba talaga nanggaling ang mga alimurong? Ha? Dahil dito sa kawalan ng direksyon na naman, balik na naman tayo doon, kawalan ng roadmaps. Dahil hindi natin maintindihan, dahil this is definitely not an economic reform. Because this is not reforming anything. Our credit is good. In fact, George Barcelon ng Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, who 1 week ago supported the sovereign fund, nag-U-turn na ho at ayaw na niya. Ha? Ayaw na niya sumama. Dahil sinasabi niya na nung mag-consult siya sa business community, ang attitude ng business community ay, nako, baka makakumpit ang gobyerno sa atin dyan sa credit. Tayo ang mawalan ng loanable funds na nagmumula sa third party. Yan ho ang problema. May mga maliliit na bagay dyan. At sinabi ko na yan ay hindi economic solution, yan ay financial measure. Pero does it really address the economic needs of the country? Ha? Does it really? Ang ating agrikultura ho, nasa intensive care unit. Ha? Ang ating manufacturing capability, nasa morgue na. Paano ba yan? Will it invite life? Will it create a CPU into the productivity aspect of our ito na sinasabi ko eh. Yung sovereign fund na yan, by drawing from land bank, will compete with the agri-agro provision for the 25% loanable funds of land bank to go to the farmers and to the for agrarian purposes. Yan dyan lang eh, meron ng nagbabanggaan eh. Oh, sino na naman ang mawawalan dito? Ha? Para, alam nyo ba yan? At saka alam nyo ba mga kabansa, na pag in-invest yan, ha? Merong around 2% na komisyon yan. Pagkano 2% ng 250 billion? Aba, baka gusto nyo ibigay na lang sa akin yan para ako'y makabili ng bagong Corolla dahil tumirik ko yung Corolla ko kahapon. Nawala ng clutch. Na high blood yata yung Corolla ko dito sa sovereign fund na ito. So, yan ang sinasabi ko.
Dagdag ko lang na ito sinabi ni Job na okay, GSIS and SHS will not join, but if their board wants to join, they can't, no? Alam mo bakit? Ang chairman of the board niyan is Ben Job, no?
Nahausyaw tayo. Patay ka ba?
That's the joke.
Secretary of Finance is Ben Job, no?
Oh my God.
You have to tell the truth, Job, no? You cannot be lying and get away with it.
Oh, nawawala ka na ng buhok. Kawawa ka naman dahil naglulubid-lubid ka na kasinungalingan. Sinisigil ka.
Talaga, ang laking perwisyo ang ginawa mo para sa taong bayan. All of these past 40 years, no?
1986. Nandiyan na yan si Joe.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Part na yan ng team na kumatay sa ating ekonomiya, sa ating energy sector.
He led the transposition from what would have been a productive or producer economy to a service economy.
Yun.
Doon tayo pinasok.
Doon tayo niyari.
Yan. Liberal capitalism, monetarist yan tao yan.
Okay, so market forces now.
Yeah.
Liberalizing and deregulation towards freeing the market forces. Oh my God.
At the same time, all of his economic program includes population control program. Ano na USAID type no? Kailangan meron yun. At yun ang palaging itutulak na sa mga presidente.
By the way, the privatization and the deregulation in 1987 ay imposition ng International Monetary Fund kay Cory Aquino. Kaya pinirmahan niya yung executive order na kumatay sa ating energy sector at nagsilbing ugat para eventually from there malintikan tayo sa mga independent power producers. They created yung sinasabi ko kanina 3 planta na hindi nila pinagdar. Actually was a criminal act to kill our energy capability. Dahil kung wala hong enerhiya, walang industriya.
Yung criminal treason. Treason yan.
Pero mga traidor.
Traitors sa
And the
bayan.
traitors are already inside the gates. Sabi nga from 1986.
So, paano tayo mag-trust?
Kung matatandaan natin nung panahon ni President Ferdinand Edralin Marcos noon, talagang malaki na ang pressure na ginawa nitong tinatawag natin na IMF, World Bank. At noon pa, talagang pinagpipilitan na sumali tayo sa GATT. Yung mga tariff na yan para makapasok lahat ng mga imported products na yan. Talagang as best as he could, he tried to delay this. Kaya ang pinag-uusapan po natin dito, kung makikinig kayong mabuti, yung mga forces na yan sa labas ng ating bansa na sila ang humahawak ng financial movement sa buong mundo. Dati meron lang saying na whoever controls the seas controls the world. Ngayon, whoever controls the money flow controls the world. At yan po, kung saan ang galing itong kanilang ginawa na International Monetary Fund at World Bank na nagpapahirap dito sa ating bansa. Kung magbibigay sila ng pressure sa mga developing countries, kayang-kaya nila. Yan ang ginawa nila kay President Marcos noon, 1983, nung nagkaroon ng assassination dito sa airport. Sila naghigpit. Talagang hindi sila nagbitiw ng kanilang tulong dito sa atin. Sa mga ibang bansa, gano'n din ang
Tinutol
kanilang ginagawa.
nila. Lahat ng credit at loan.
Exactly. 148 banks refuse to give us any credit. Anyway, what we are discussing here is the fact that every administration, simula noong 1986 hanggang sa kasalukuyan, bakit ba andyan pa yung mga tao na yan? Kasi hawak sila ng mga talagang nagmamanipulate ng paggalaw ng pera sa buong mundo, the financial flow. And Sir Butch was explaining, hindi lang ito basta sasabihin na this is an economic program or this is a financial program. Malaki po ang diferensya. There's a big difference between yung tinatawag natin, this is the financial experts or economic group that's now helping our president. Naku po, Mr. President, pakinggan niyo mabuti yung sinasabi ni Sir Butch, sapagkat yan po ang makakatulong sa inyong paggalaw tungkol dito nga sa mga nagbibigay sa inyo ng mga programang kagaya nito. Circumstances, not just circumstances, policies and movements outside of our country controlled by these big financial institutions are the ones actually manipulating us. Kaya we have to hope, we have to believe, we have to trust each other.
The very first comment I made after I heard the president give his first appointment to the cabinet,
Yeah.
I said, Mr. President, you just made the biggest mistake of your career as president by appointing Ben Jokno as the Secretary of Finance. And he is dangerous. And then I tell you,
Sino ba nag-recommend dyan? Yung isang ahas na nasa labas ng Malacanang. Di ba pinagsilbihan din niya yun nung presidente yun?
oo, pwede din.
Oo.
Pwede isang ahas din, pero pwede din yung yung mga financial institutions, yung mga bossing ang tunay na bossing ni Jokno, yung mga Rothschilds, yung mga yan,
Yeah.
IMF,
Yeah.
yung mga yan
World Bank.
Alam niyo nung panahon ni President
Oo.
Ferdinand Edralin Marcos, si Apo, yung term na ginamit nila ay amboy yan. Wala pa yung mga globalist term, wala pa yung sinasabi na bata yan ng IMF o ng World Bank. Ang sabi, amboy, American boy. Kasi at that time, yun na nga, kontrolado ng Amerika yung mga financial institutions na yan. So, simula pa noon talagang kung merong kinakailangan i-appoint sa Department of Finance, sa yung mga ganyang na critical departments that handles the money of a country, talagang malaki ang influence, hindi lang influence, malaki ang pressure dun sa sitting president na yan ang kanyang i-appoint. Kaya nga, yun ang tinatawag sa kanila.
Ano ang mga current events indicator? Bukod doon sa sinabi na ng Norway na nagtiwala sila sa ekonomiya ng Amerika at nalugi sila ngayon ng 174 billion dahil doon. Nalugi sila sa kanilang sovereign fund. Ano ang iba pang mga indicators? Ang European Council po ng European Commission na leader ngayon si Ursula von der Leyen ay nakipag-usap na po kay Xi Jinping. Ang German Chancellor na si parang pronounce it, Schulz ba yun? Ay nagmano na rin po sa China. At ito ang pinakamalaking dago. Ang Crown Prince po ng Saudi Arabia, hindi lamang pag-usap kay Xi Jinping, kung hindi pumayag na ang kanilang exchange for oil ay pwedeng yuan. In other words, nabibilang na ang araw ng petrodollar. Tayo, nandyan pa rin. Nandyan pa rin tayo nakaasa. Alam ninyo, mga kabansa, kumikilos na ang Amerika dahil aalis na po sila sa Ukraine. Ililipat nila ang pandemic ng gera gusto nilang ilipat dito sa Pilipinas. Ha? Ang Japan, bigla tayo nagkaroon ng mga eroplanong dahil sa Visiting Forces Agreement with Japan. Nandiyan na yan. Ha? At alam nyo kasi, mahal na mahal tayo ng Amerika, that they are willing to die up to the last Filipino. Kaya dito sila ngayon magbabase militar para tayo ang maging panibagong Ukraine. Dahil pag natapos ang Ukraine, by the way, pag tinuloy ng Amerika ang funding ng armas ng Ukraine, mababawasan ng 29 billion US dollars ang budget ng Amerika sa defense. Ayan na. Kaya nagre-reklamo na itong mga deep state, itong military complex nila, no? Na talaga namang yan ang nagdidesisyon sa patungo ng Amerika. Isa pa, yung Saudi Arabia, sumasali na ho sa BRICS. Ano ang BRICS? Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South America. Wala akong naririnig kay Bongbong na gusto ko na rin sumali din sa BRICS. My God! China, the oil of China, the oil of Russia, the oil of the Arab world will combine. Nasa labas ho tayo ng hawla. But we are allowing the fox to enter the chicken coop. Uubusin ho niyan lahat ng manok. Pati yung kakanin ninyo sa hapunan, mawawala na mga manok, kakanin ho lahat yan ng mga nagpaplano nitong sovereign fund na ito na wala namang interest kung hindi yung 2% commission sa kanilang investment. Pag in-invest ho nila yun siya, may commission sila. Tandaan niyo yan. At i-verify niyo yan kung totoo. At kung hindi totoo yan, lumipat na ho kayo ng channel from the Katipunan channel to the Magdalo channel. Dahil iba na ho ang tema na sinasabi namin dito. Kami nag-iimbento na nakatotohanan. Pero, ayan, 45 minutes na lang ba tayo? Tingnan natin ang mga feedback ng ating mga katoto dito sa social media. Jasmine Wensus, hello po. Aranayo Caroline, tatlong ganon. Imelda Palapa, good evening po.
Pinagdadasal lang.
Nagdarasal na sila para magkaroon ng pag-asa. Nixon Hitchhiker, our government is foggy right now. Faustino is acting like worker in the American Embassy in the Philippines. Maite Baisa, good afternoon po. Madam Rita Serrado Serbuch, tatlong puso. Ira, hello po sa inyo. Mabuhay po kayo watching from UAE. Alejandro Pagtagnan. Hello po from San Jose del Monte, Bulacan. Cesar Soberano, as of now, I trust the three of you. Ay, thank you po. In all your advocacies for a truly progressive Philippines. Freddy Oredina, thank you. Natanggap ko na yung libro ko. Salamat sa iyo. Maria Aneliano Cunyado, papakpalang hapon po sa inyo, sirs. And Ma'am I.R. Kiloy, afternoon po from UK, Great Britain. Dave Ortega, hello po. Makisig ninyo akong tagaspag-baybay ng programa ninyo. Ananayo, Caroline, sorry to say the PBM is weak because he's controlled by First Lady Sarap Bol Chakin, CFL. If she's not controlling PBBM, bakit hindi siya magsalta in front sa mga tao and even Maharlika Fund, huwag niyang Galawin. Rando Rialin, hello po. Danilo Thailand, present from Novaliches, Quezon City. Manggagoy Bisli, Maharlika, CIP Scholarship. May similarity. Ivan Risparin Kiloy, Albay, Congressman Saceda is Balimbing politician. He used to support Lenny Kiko 2022, but now supporting the BBBM administration. He always supports whoever is in power, Mang Ivan. He has no principles for the people's lives, the country, and the economy. Mahilig po yan sa mga batang binata. Hello po kayo from Baguio City. All government are corrupt. True. Walang isang salita sa PBBM. Misanthropy. I'm glad the channel has been recovered. Good evening, Crossfire. Nalinda ito. Shalom, Miss Gadi, Miss Butch. I want to suggest that PBBM, that the three of you be in his cabinet. Ay, nako, baka maging ano yan. Ano klaseng cabinet yan? If you have wisdom and experience in government of Marcos Sr., PBBM now needs wisdom how to run the nation. PBBM is in the balance. Guys, counter pala, saan po dapat invest ang pondo ng bayan, ang pondo ng individual stock market naman yan. At kahit tulad na sugal, correct. Mabilis kasing ibalik ang pera sa bahay, sugalan, mabilis din mawala. Enrico Abihar, hindi yata may tutuloy ang panahon ng Pilipinas dahil sa influensya ni Gloria at Yokno sa gobyerno ni President Bongbong. AJ, ito ba yung AJ ko? Good day po sa inyo. Diyan, kapuso nyo ako, nangiti po si Jokno dahil magiging komisyon niya 5% now as underworld broker. I can't believe yung mga 31M ay nagtiwala ng sobrang bulag sa promise na Scammers Fund, Jinx Calix. Happy weekend. More power. Edita Peña, sabi ni Sec and Relay, dapat pag-aralan muna ni BBM bago sumulong sa Congressman Wealth Fund. Hindi siya naniniwala na ito ay magtatagumpay. May problema siya. Ngayon, the challenge, mga cabinet niya po recycle. Kaya bumagsak ang Pilipinas, mga expert ko no. Jonathan Jamantra, good evening po. Lagi po nunod sa replay ng Crossfire. Kayo po lang na tsambahan ng live. Itatanong ko po sana kung sino po sa tingin ninyo ang dapat maging Secretary of Finance o palitan si Jokmo. Ay kailangan po natin dyan si Secretary Butch Valdes. Daniel Damara.
Marami pong pwede pumalit yan.
Keep on conducting this kind of information dissemination which is so highly educating and enlightening the people's minds concerning the Filipinos' well-being. Virgilio Villanueva, 37, to like. Late tuning. Good afternoon. Mabuhay po kayo sa pagmulat sa Masang Pilipino. Bugtith Channel. Mapagpalang araw po mga Katipunanes at Katipuneras. At huwag po kalilimutan mga kabansa, hanggang December 15 na lang po ang Christmas book package ko. Well anyway, may dadagdag pa rito. Rosalina Mon, may oras pa kasi. Dapat palang palitan yung joke, no? Dahil hindi pala dapat lingkod bayan daya ng hello sa inyo lahat yan. From Denmark, and then Elehado, bakit di nawawala yan si joke, no? Kasi nga, hindi rin nawawala World Bank, IMF, ADB. Well, mga bansa ninyo, good evening, mag-isip-sip po tayo, mag-military takeover. We will give you updates on that. As it unfolds. As it unfolds. Friendly Ordino na naman. Middle East countries, Chinese Arab Alliance, Ukraine funds will be audited by USA Congress in January. Wow! Even the Democrats voted for the audit. Jay Laggy, watching from Kalinga. Uy! Diyan yung, di ba?
Rhinoceros.
Yung Rhinoceros. God bless Philippines. Maraming Gutierrez at daming papatayin si Jokto ng Pilipino dahil sa kagaguhan niya. Alam niya na mali ang patakaran, ginagago lang ang Pilipino. Again, I would like to repeat, hanggang December 15 na lamang po ang Christmas book sale natin. Kaya magmadali na kayo. 1,200, 2 libro po yan. Alam niyo mga libro ngayon, mahal na po dahil nagtaas ang presyo ng papel. Kaya ito this is a bargain. Text 0917-336-4366. Again, 0917-336-4366. Maraming salamat sa inyo.
Okay, just to wind up what the three of us have been talking about over the past episodes and for today, where we emphasize the three important elements of our lives: hope, trust, and belief. What is important here is the apprehension that some people are presenting to us. Sinasabi na, pintas kayo ng pintas, ano ba kayo? Well, I just want to inform you, Ado has worked very closely with President Bongbong Marcos. Hindi lang sa barn, but on many other occasions. Kaya hindi nyo pwedeng hindi pagkatiwalaan ang pagkaloyalista nito sa mga paninindigan na kanyang pinaniwalaan nung mga panahon na nakaraan hanggang sa kasalukuyan.
Issues, sa issues.
Exactly, and issues.
Management.
Sir Butch Valdes has also been in communication with the family for the longest length of time. He has sat with Mrs. Marcos on many occasions and many years, as a matter of fact. And of course, that's one question I've asked every time there is a meeting of Marcos loyalists. Is there anyone in the crowd who was already with the campaigns of President Ferdinand and Doralyn Marcos way back in 1964 or 1965? So there you have it. We are actually here for the president, for our government, and for the country. All your apprehensions and all your doubts and all the questions that you're raising to us. Ano ba kayo? Bakit kayo pintas ng pintas? Hindi kami nagpipintas. Naglalabas tayo, as I've always emphasized, the truth is very easy to tell. It is only evil that complicates. Thank you very much for having joined us. We still have time. Oh, merong pina-flash. Si Ado, ano yun?
Ilaw sa kadiliman.
Okay, so keep on hoping, keep on trusting, keep on believing. Certain values and certain concerns actually belong to the people and belong to our country. And in that manner, that is the only way we can pledge allegiance to our flag and to everything that we believe in as far as the president is concerned. On behalf of Ado Paglinawan, Sir Butch Valdes, this is Rita Gadi, thanking you all for having joined us again during this Crossfire.